Hello guys, it's JongLi here, and today I'm back with another online commentary battle for RTW. This time it's a 3 versus 3 31k rules battle. I'll be playing as the CPR Romans alongside Titans, Hades, and Anibal of the Art of War clan. We'll be playing against some pretty experienced players. We have Prometheus of the Titans clan, also known as Odin, so I'll call him Odin for the duration of the battle. Titans Hervy, also known as Titans Liam, so I'll just call him that. And Raging Asian, which I think most of you have seen on my channel before. So in this battle, I just want to show you guys how when you play 31k in a team especially, so if it's 2 versus 2, 3 versus 3, 4v4, the style I kind of favor is it's basically where you have one flank defending and one flank attacking, and you never do both at the same time. So you don't want one flank defending and the other one also defending, and you don't want both flanks attacking. I think this game is a pretty good illustration of why I play that way. And yeah, so we've basically brought pretty standard builds mostly, but Hades and myself have pretty standard builds. Liam has brought a few archers, so he's got 4 archers at the back here, and those are likely to counter Macedon. The Greeks are pretty much all Spartans, I think. So Odin's brought a ton of Spartans. I think that's about 20, close to 20 Spartans. So they're going to be really hard to break. And we've basically brought Macedon to counter the Greeks. Liam's brought archers to counter Macedon, and the Roman factions are pretty much just here to stabilize. So as you can see here, Odin's rushing up with his Spartans, but Hades is going to be able to get away. I'm pulling to this side with my cav because I want to present a threat to Odin's back or flank, so that he doesn't push too far. We're also trying to get Anibal to square up against Odin. So we're just doing all this swapping stuff at the moment. Over here, I tried to get a back charge on Odin. I knew it was really obvious that I was doing this, but I decided to take the risk anyway, and at this point I probably should have just like pulled out. But he gets his pikes down, and I basically waste 3 units of cav, which is really bad. So that was definitely a misplay. They will come back, but they're very, very severely depleted. I think, yeah, some of my units got knocked down by like more than half their numbers. So we basically put Anibal in the middle, ready to react to wherever Odin goes. We have Liam in their center and Raging Asian on their left. I believe they do move Odin to the center later on. So I'm just trying to regroup my cav here. Some of them do manage to come back, which is nice. But yeah, that was a pretty stupid move. As you can see, it's mostly my cav that died, and much less Spartans, so it's not proportional. So that wasn't worth it. A very risky gamble. I've brought this one Legionary First Cohort to give the Macedonians more morale, so I'm going to try and follow the Macedonians around with this Legionary First. So I've skimped on 1 cav unit for that, so I've only got 5 cav. But we still have the cavalry advantage because Greece hasn't brought any cav, so we are still up by about 4, 6, so it's 5, 5, 4, pretty much. So we're up by about 4k. 4 or 5 cav. As you can see, Odin's moving to the center. We moved Anibal, or Anibal moved here to intercept him on the left, but Odin's just run away to the center because he doesn't want to fight the Macedonians with his Spartans, which is fine. Hades is using this opportunity to get some peeler in, and it's going to be should be pretty effective because these Spartans are running, and they're getting peeler thrown at them as they run. So some really effective peeler should be going in here. Not too many went in, but a little bit. I'm just going to square up against Raging Asian, and as you can see, Odin's sent 4 Spartans to help Raging Asian, and as you can see, he's put them on the flank. So, which means he's going to try and be aggressive with these 4 Spartans and push on this flank. So, if you're going to be aggressive on one flank, you have to defend with the other one, right? This is in this when everyone's equally matched, right? So he's clearly being very, very aggressive with these Spartans, and he definitely has enough guys in the center to hold it. So he decides to send another 4 Spartans to our left, and you'll see what he does with those soon. But meanwhile, Hades is just positioning himself. I positioned my cav on the left. I don't know what Anibal is doing with this 1 cav unit. Might get shot to bits by this archer auxiliary. Yeah, it is getting shot to bits. But pretty much all our team's cav is positioned here, and very little of it is here. As you can see, I'm using this unit to manually peeler these Spartan hoplites, and I'm getting a lot of good shots in there. That's really good because it makes it hard for him to micro both sides at once. So as you can see, Odin's got Spartans on this side and the center, so he has to do all that micro. It's really difficult for him to avoid this as well because Raging Asian isn't setting up any peeler screen or anything for him. But they have such an overwhelming infantry advantage here, so it's still pretty safe for them. Yeah, they've got an extra 4 Spartans, and that makes all the difference. So Anibal's decided to just keep all his guys in the center, which is fine. I've seen this threat of 4 Spartans, and I've got my legionary first cohort here behind Anibal's men because we don't want him to rout. But they're in the center, so should be fine. It's always a good idea to put your less experienced players in the center because you can support them very easily, as well as ask them to support you more easily. So as you can see, Odin's being really aggressive with these Spartan hoplites on the left, and he's being aggressive with them on the right as well. So I think my teammates and I all see this opportunity, and it basically means his center is weaker than you would expect, and it means his right flank and left flank are really heavy on the infantry. But what this means is that their lines are stretched out further than ours. So their line stretches from here to this side. If Liam wants to support Raging Asian, he has to run across all of that, and if he wants to get on my flank, he has to run even further around, because I've folded in this flank. But if we want to support from this flank to the other, we've just got to run a pretty short distance. It's a straight line, so it's much easier for us to support each other because we are not aggressively attacking like them. But you'll see that Hades is already preparing his cavs for a counter attack. And although Anibal and I were really concerned about this flank, that's why we put our cav here at first, we are now moving our cavalry to the left because we see Hades doing reasonably well here in this cav fight, and we also see Raging Asian's cav is actually not able, because it's in this center and he's running this way, it's not able to turn around quickly enough to support his allies' right flank. So I'm just going to come in with a cav charge on the center of Liam's infantry and hopefully break them while my allies just wrap around this flank with their cav. And this is all our team's cav, so this is almost 14 units worth of cav here. And at this point I realize this flank has to hold out until we can decisively destroy this flank and support. So I've put my legionary first cohort here, and wait, is it here? I think it's here. Well, I'll put it there later. I put my legionary first cohort there later because I need the morale boost on the right more than I do in the center for Anibal. But anyway, there's only these two little Spartan units left, which is fine because they can't support against these cav. They're too slow and it'll take them too long to get there, and they're holding this line against Hades infantry, which he has poured in to help. I'm pretty much finishing what I started on this center part and just destroying all the urbans there with my cav. And also what this has done is it's pretty much cut off support from the left to the center, and so even just by positioning my cav here, and the weight of Anibal's infantry now is far too much for the Spartan center line to handle, and it breaks. But on the right, Raging Asian has managed to encircle all my infantry, and this is where the rout begins to happen. As you can see, my legionary first actually routs, so this damages the morale of the rest of my men. On the left, a few of Liam's units are still holding out, but it's looking pretty bad for him. And on the right, I have a bunch of Praetorian cav, which I'm trying to pour into the thick of this fight here. But I'm going to get stopped by Odin's general, which was a good move. He managed to turn around in time and get his pikes down. So I got a lot of my cav killed here, but I still have sufficient cav to mount a decent cav strike. I've testudoed a lot of my units here. This is probably the ideal situation you want to testudo in such a heavy melee combat. As you can see, Raging Asian's spending a lot of his Pila on this testudo, which is great because that means he has less Pila to spend on Anibal's infantry, and it's stalling Odin and also some of Raging Asian infantry for a while. Again, I try to get a cav strike in here, but Raging Asian blocks with some of his guys, which was a good move, and it's blunted somewhat. And Odin's also coming in to support here. But on the left, as you can see, Hades has totally destroyed, mopped up Liam's infantry, and all his cavalry is pretty much gone. He's only got this one unit of Archer Auxilia left and probably a few other stragglers, but the left flank is basically ours now. We have won it. The center is also won, as you can see by all these dead Spartans. The Royal Pikemen did a really good job in the center, and they are now in a really good position to support me. As you can see, we've wrapped around the enemy. We've got pretty much Royal Pikes holding out everywhere and winning it pretty decisively here, and laying it on the enemy here. I've just got these two testudos in the center, really just holding the ground, not letting any units through so they can't flank these Royal Pikes, and we've got even more Royal Pikes here to support the rear and also block off Raging Asian's cavalry, which at this point is doing a good job actually. It actually manages to get a mass rout here, but it's going to die to these pikes, and also Hades has managed to get his infantry here easily in time to support us. So now we've reinforced our lines, as you can see, and it's not looking so good for the opposing team anymore. Raging Asian still got a few units of cavalry left, but he's sent it to chase this unit, which I'm using to run away and distract him with. He's sending this urban cohort back in, but we've still got a fair amount of Royal Pikemen. We've got Royal Pikemen here. Some of them might come back from routing. Yep, one of them has come back from routing. We've got a lot of urban cohorts left of Hades because we wrapped up that flank so quickly and we actually got a mass rout. Hades was able to preserve a lot of his infantry and it's going to be very decisive in this final battle. Hades has also got some Praetorian cav left, smidgen, which he's going to use to try and rout these edge units, which he's doing pretty well. He's already managed to rout 2 with a nice slice charge. And on this side, Anibal hasn't noticed this unit has come back, but it doesn't really matter that much. A lot of Pila going into some of Raging Asian's cav here. I guess Hades is just spending the rest of it. And I've charged my cav unit in here trying to catch them, but they kind of glitch. And yeah, do random stuff. But it's down to 2 men anyway. So it was good distraction. And Hades is coming in for some killer cav strikes here around the back. Now this flank has been wrapped up. Anibal is just pushing, so he's curved inward against the Spartans and Urbans of Raging Asian and Odin. And this is pretty much the enemy's last line. They've just got these couple of Urbans here, a few Spartans and Urbans here, and yeah, some straggling units out here which are really way too far away to help. So we've got a Legionary First Cohort engaged right here on some of Raging Asian's infantry, doing quite a bit of work. And we've also got Odin here trying to support with this really depleted unit of Spartans. But the battle's pretty much over. The Spartan general is dead. And the main fight here is pretty much won. So yeah. Well played. So really well played to everyone in the game. Anibal did a great job holding the center. Hades did a great job seeing the opportunity on the left. Our opponents were really good as well. As you can see, the kills are really close. Raging Asian definitely improved a lot from last time. And Odin and Liam played really well as well. I think what won us that game was the fact that Odin probably was too aggressive on both flanks, and he neglected the center a little bit. And also his allies stretched too far as well. So yeah, we managed to capitalize on the fact that support for both flanks was going to be really difficult for our opponents. And we managed to just rout one flank way quicker than they could defeat our other flank. So that's the score sheet. Hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you next time.